Welcome to my channel HD Rare Coins 111, the place where history meets treasure. Here, every coin tells a story, from the oldest United States classics that shaped our past to the newest rare discoveries that amaze collectors today. If you love the thrill of uncovering hidden value, exploring the beauty of design, and learning the secrets behind coins worth fortunes, then you're in the right place. Join us as we dive deep into the world of rare U.S. coins, both old and new, and reveal the fascinating details that make them priceless. Top 1. The year was 1967, a time when the United States of America was undergoing remarkable cultural changes, and in the world of coinage, it was no different. The Washington quarter dollar struck in that year became part of an interesting chapter in numismatic history, one that continues to fascinate collectors around the globe. When people hold a 1967 quarter in their hand, most only see a regular piece of change, something to spend at the store or drop into a vending machine. But for passionate coin lovers and collectors, the 1967 Washington quarter holds secrets, stories, and in some cases, incredible value. The Washington quarter had already been in circulation for over 30 years by the time 1967 came around. First issued in 1932 to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington, the design quickly became an American classic. It featured Washington's noble profile on the obverse, reminding every citizen of the country's first president and his role in shaping a nation. On the reverse side, the coin showcased the proud American eagle, wings spread wide, perched on a bundle of arrows and surrounded by olive branches, a symbol of both strength and peace. This timeless design carried through for decades, and by 1967 it had already become a familiar sight in the hands of millions of Americans. But 1967 was not just any year in the history of American coinage. It came during a time when the U.S. Mint was experimenting with changes in the composition of coins. The silver quarters of earlier years had been phased out starting in 1965, and in their place came copper nickel-clad coins, just like the 1967 quarter. The decision to remove silver from quarters was driven by rising silver prices and shortages that threatened the production of U.S. coinage. This change made the 1967 quarter distinct because it represented a fully new era, an era in which the familiar shine of silver was replaced by the muted, industrial look of clad metal. For collectors, this was a turning point. While many people viewed the new coins as less valuable or less attractive, keen-eyed numismatists realized that transitional years often produce rare varieties and minting errors, and 1967 was no exception. The mintage of 1967 Washington quarters was huge, with hundreds of millions struck to meet the nation's demand for circulating coins. Yet, within that massive production, certain coins came out with unusual features, double strikes, misalignments, and off-center minting, that turned ordinary quarters into rare treasures. In addition to errors, the quality of the strike itself played a major role in determining value. Coins with sharp details, pristine surfaces, and minimal blemishes are always more desirable. When a 1967 quarter survives decades without wear and tear, preserved in almost perfect condition, it can command astonishing prices. Many people do not realize that 1967 was also one of the few years in modern history when the U.S. Mint did not place mint marks on coins. This was part of an effort to discourage hoarding during the nationwide coin shortage. For collectors today, that means every 1967 quarter looks the same at first glance, but condition and rarity set some apart. Imagine finding a quarter in your change that looks brighter, sharper, and more perfect than the rest. That is exactly the kind of discovery that excites coin enthusiasts, because such gems can turn out to be worth far more than 25 cents. The thrill of coin collecting often comes from the idea that hidden treasures might be lurking in everyday pocket change. With the 1967 quarter, this is especially true. Stories abound of lucky individuals stumbling upon coins that, when graded by professionals, revealed themselves to be rare specimens of immense worth. Grading plays a huge role in this world. Professional coin grading services carefully examine every detail of a coin, from the depth of Washington's hair curls to the clarity of the eagle's feathers. A high-grade 1967 quarter in mint state condition can leap in value dramatically. Another factor is rarity within rarity. While millions of 1967 quarters exist, only a tiny fraction have survived in untouched, uncirculated quality. These survivors are the true jewels, sought after by serious collectors who will pay top dollar to add one to their collection. Some of the most valuable 1967 Washington quarters are those that not only survived in flawless condition, but also exhibit special qualities such as cameo contrast when struck in proof-like finishes. These unusual coins are highly desirable and push their value into extraordinary territory. The beauty of coin collecting is that it blends history, artistry, and treasure hunting all into one. Each quarter from 1967 carries with it the legacy of America in the late 60s, a time of change and innovation, reflected even in its coinage. Collectors often say that coins are miniature time machines, and the 1967 quarter is a perfect example. Holding one can transport you back to the era of the space race, the rise of rock and roll, and a nation in transformation. Beyond nostalgia, the true fascination lies in the possibility of hidden wealth. An unsuspecting quarter sitting in a drawer or piggy bank might, under the right circumstances, be worth thousands. This is what makes coin collecting such an exciting journey. In the world of auctions, 1967 Washington quarters in pristine grades have surprised everyone by reaching prices that no one would expect for a modern clad coin. The demand from passionate collectors drives these bidding wars, proving that beauty and rarity can transform a simple quarter into a fortune. The designs themselves also contribute to this appeal. Washington's profile remains one of the most admired portraits on American coinage, and the eagle on the reverse continues to symbolize freedom and strength. Together, they give the 1967 quarter a timeless elegance. For those new to collecting, it is inspiring to know that even coins as common as quarters can hold extraordinary value. The key is learning how to recognize the difference between an ordinary coin and one that could be worth a life-changing sum. Every detail matters, from the strike to the luster to the smallest imperfection. The 1967 Washington quarter reminds us that hidden gems often lie where we least expect them, waiting for someone with a curious eye to uncover their true worth. Collectors also appreciate how these coins represent resilience. Even though silver was taken out, and even though millions were minted, the 1967 quarter still found a way to carve its place in numismatic history through its rare survivors and errors. The fact that so many people dismiss them as ordinary makes the hunt even more exciting. There is always a chance that one could be hiding in plain sight, tucked away among other coins in a collection or change jar. For passionate hobbyists, the chase is as thrilling as the find. Searching for a 1967 quarter in top condition or with a rare error can take years, but the payoff is always worth it, whether in knowledge, history, or financial reward. Today, the 1967 Washington quarter continues to capture the imagination of collectors around the world. Its story, its design, and its potential value make it one of the most fascinating coins of its era. And when one of these coins surfaces in impeccable condition, untouched by time, it can achieve staggering prices at auction, shocking even seasoned collectors and dealers. This is the magic of coin collecting, the ordinary transformed into the extraordinary, the everyday coin elevated to a priceless treasure. The 1967 Washington quarter is living proof of that magic, and for the most exceptional examples, those that stand out in flawless brilliance, the value has reached an astonishing $183,000. Top 2. In the world of coins, every year brings with it new stories, hidden treasures, and unexpected surprises. The 1983 Washington quarter dollar is one of those coins that may seem ordinary to the casual eye but has captured the imagination of collectors for decades. When most people think about the 1983 quarter, they remember it simply as the change that jingled in their pockets during the 80s. Yet beneath that simple exterior lies a fascinating story that turns this coin into one of the most talked about pieces of modern U.S. currency. The Washington quarter, first introduced in 1932, had already cemented itself as a timeless design. The obverse proudly displays the portrait of George Washington, the first President of the United States, and the reverse features the iconic eagle, a powerful national emblem. By 1983, Americans had already spent over 50 years with this beloved design in circulation. But what sets the 1983 quarter apart from so many others is not just its design, but the unique set of circumstances surrounding its production. For collectors, 1983 marked one of the most unusual years in the modern history of U.S. coinage. In that year, the U.S. Mint did not produce any official mint sets for collectors. This meant that the supply of pristine, uncirculated quarters from 1983 was severely limited. While millions were struck for circulation, the absence of collector sets meant that very few were preserved in flawless condition. This one detail completely changed the destiny of the 1983 quarter. While ordinary worn pieces still trade for face value, those in high-grade mint state condition became extremely scarce, making them highly prized in the world of numismatics. Collectors often remark that 1983 is a key date for modern Washington quarters, not because of a low mintage, but because of the survival rate of high-quality examples. The lack of mint sets meant that most coins immediately entered circulation, picking up scratches, dings, and were within days of release. So, when a collector discovers a 1983 Washington quarter that looks as though it just left the mint yesterday, the excitement is palpable. These near-perfect survivors are not only rare but also capable of commanding stunning prices at auction. Beyond condition rarity, the 1983 quarter is also famous for certain striking errors. Off-center strikes, double dies, and other minting anomalies have surfaced, each one turning an ordinary coin into a true numismatic treasure. These errors, combined with the scarcity of mint-state coins, have built a strong reputation for the 1983 quarter as one of the most intriguing modern issues. The thrill of the hunt for one in immaculate condition keeps collectors searching tirelessly. It is fascinating to think about how many 1983 quarters are still in circulation today, passed from hand to hand without anyone realizing the potential treasure they hold. That is the magic of coin collecting, the possibility that an overlooked coin might change someone's life. The design itself also carries a sense of timeless pride. Washington's dignified profile is instantly recognizable, while the eagle on the reverse remains a bold symbol of America's spirit. This combination of beauty and symbolism ensures that the 1983 quarter continues to hold aesthetic as well as historical value. When collectors search for rare coins, they often gravitate toward those with unusual stories. The 1983 quarter's tale of scarcity and missed preservation makes it stand out from the crowd. This backstory is part of what fuels its rising demand among enthusiasts. Over the years, professional coin grading has helped separate the truly exceptional pieces from the ordinary. A coin graded at the highest mint state levels can command staggering values, particularly if it shows deep luster and crisp details. Imagine stumbling upon a coin that looks sharper than anything you have seen in pocket change, its surface is gleaming, its details so fine that every feather on the eagle seems alive. That is the kind of coin that collectors dream about finding from 1983. The absence of mint sets in that year also reminds us how important preservation is in coin collecting. Every coin has a story, but not every coin survives in a way that can tell it. The 1983 quarter, in this way, became a legend among modern issues. As years go by, the number of pristine 1983 quarters only becomes smaller. Some remain locked in private collections, while others continue to surprise the auction world with their breathtaking hammer prices. Even casual coin enthusiasts are drawn to this particular issue, learning quickly that not all quarters are created equal. The 1983 Washington quarter teaches us that even recent coins can hold incredible value if their history and condition align perfectly. Stories have circulated of collectors pulling shiny examples from circulation decades after their release, only to realize that they held something far rarer than they ever imagined. Those discoveries add to the allure of the 1983 quarter. Coin dealers and auction houses frequently highlight the 1983 quarter when talking about undervalued modern rarities. Its reputation has grown steadily, and its place in coin history is firmly secured. What's most fascinating is that this coin was never intended to be rare. The circumstances of its year, the absence of mint sets, and the tendency of coins to circulate heavily, created rarity by accident, which only makes it more compelling. For collectors, the 1983 quarter is not just about financial value. It's about owning a piece of history, a coin that tells a story about minting practices, collecting habits, and the surprises that still exist in the world of U.S. coinage. Every time a 1983 Washington quarter in gem condition appears, it captures attention, sparks bidding wars, and reminds us of the treasures hidden in plain sight. Its legacy continues to grow as new generations of collectors discover its story and pursue it for their collections. It remains a perfect example of why numismatics is such a thrilling pursuit. The simple beauty of George Washington's portrait combined with the majesty of the eagle makes this coin not only a piece of money but also a piece of art. This artistry, combined with rarity, makes the 1983 quarter unforgettable. When auction houses list these coins, seasoned collectors know to pay close attention. High-grade examples can fetch astonishing sums, turning a once ordinary quarter into a life-changing prize. The 1983 quarter has earned its place among the most desirable modern Washington quarters, and it continues to prove that even coins made in recent decades can achieve legendary status. Every collector dreams of finding one, and every discovery adds to the coin's mythos, keeping the excitement alive year after year, and for those few that survive in stunning mint state perfection, untouched by time, their worth has soared to the breathtaking figure of $137,000. Top 3. The 1988 Washington quarter dollar may look like an ordinary coin at first glance, but in the world of numismatics, even seemingly common coins can hide secrets that turn them into rare and valuable treasures. This coin carries a story of design, history, and hidden worth that continues to captivate collectors. The Washington quarter had already been circulating for more than half a century by 1988, and Americans were well familiar with its iconic design. On the obverse, George Washington's dignified portrait reflects leadership and the birth of a nation, while the reverse features the mighty eagle, wings spread wide in timeless pride. By the late 1980s, the Washington quarter was a staple in every pocket, cash register, and coin jar across the country. People spent them daily without giving them much thought. Yet for those with a keen eye, 1988 quarters held more than meets the eye. Minted in both Philadelphia and Denver, the 1988 quarter was struck in enormous numbers to keep up with America's bustling economy. But within those millions of coins, a small handful emerged with qualities that would one day make them highly desirable to collectors. Errors and varieties are part of what makes the 1988 quarter so intriguing. From doubled dies to off-center strikes, every mistake at the mint turned a normal coin into a numismatic marvel worth far more than 25 cents. Beyond errors, condition plays the biggest role in determining value. The vast majority of 1988 quarters went straight into circulation, collecting scratches, dings, and signs of wear almost immediately. Very few escaped into pristine preservation. Coins that survive in mint state condition tell a different story. With sharp detail, brilliant luster, and untouched surfaces, these quarters are treasures of survival. They show us what the coin looked like fresh from the press in 1988. Professional coin grading services help distinguish these gems from the ordinary. A quarter graded in the highest mint state levels, where Washington's hair curls remain crisp and the eagle's feathers appear sharp and detailed, can achieve staggering value. Collectors especially prize examples with strong strikes and dazzling eye appeal. These are the coins that stand out at auctions, catching the attention of competitive bidders and driving prices to impressive heights. For many collectors, the thrill lies in searching. It's the idea that one could stumble upon a 1988 quarter in an old collection, a forgotten jar, or even in circulation, and discover that it's worth thousands of dollars. The Washington Quarter series has always been rich with history. Introduced in 1932 to celebrate the bicentennial of Washington's birth, it became a symbol of stability. By 1988, that tradition carried forward, with every coin linking the past to the present. Holding a 1988 quarter is like holding a small piece of the late 1980s, a decade of growth, culture, and transformation in America. These coins circulated during a time of booming technology, changing lifestyles, and new opportunities. What makes this particular year fascinating is that it's not one most people expect to find value in. Many assume that only older silver quarters or coins from the early 20th century are worth money. But the 1988 quarter proves that even modern issues can surprise us. High-grade survivors are exceptionally rare because mint sets and proof sets from that period often failed to preserve coins perfectly. Spotting, haze, or weak strikes meant that only a tiny number were kept in flawless condition. As time goes on, finding a 1988 quarter in such pristine state becomes harder and harder. Many have been lost to circulation forever, and the few that remain rise in demand with each passing year. Auctions tell this story vividly. When a remarkable 1988 quarter surfaces, bidders recognize its scarcity and push the price far beyond expectations. These dramatic auction results remind collectors why this coin holds a special place in modern numismatics. It's easy to overlook a quarter from the 1980s, but those who take the time to study them know the hidden gems they can reveal. The 1988 Washington quarter is a perfect example of ordinary turned extraordinary. Even era coins from this year add to the mystery. Imagine finding a coin struck off-center or with a doubled image of Washington's profile. To collectors, these mistakes are not flaws but treasures. The artistry of the design also cannot be ignored. John Flanagan's portrait of Washington continues to inspire admiration, while the eagle remains a bold national emblem. In brilliant mint state, these details shine with unmatched beauty. Coin collecting is often described as a journey through history, and the 1988 quarter plays a unique role in that journey. It bridges the gap between the older silver quarters of the past and the commemorative state quarters that would soon dominate the 1990s. For newer collectors, the 1988 quarter is a lesson that modern coins can carry value equal to or greater than much older pieces. For seasoned numismatists, it remains a challenge to find that elusive, flawless example. Every coin tells a story of how it was made, how it survived, and how it was discovered. The 1988 quarter tells a story of survival against the odds, of hiding in plain sight, waiting for the right eyes to recognize its worth. The appeal of this coin grows with each telling of its story. Collectors share tales of their finds, building excitement and driving more interest toward this humble yet remarkable quarter. It stands as proof that treasures don't always shine immediately. Sometimes, the most valuable pieces are hiding in your change, overlooked until someone takes a closer look. The legacy of the 1988 quarter continues to grow as more examples achieve recognition for their rarity and beauty. Each one that surfaces in gem condition adds another chapter to its story. This coin reminds us that collecting is not just about the past, it's also about the present and the thrill of discovery. Coins like the 1988 quarter keep the passion for numismatics alive. The excitement surrounding these coins is only set to increase as supplies shrink and demand grows, ensuring their place in the halls of modern rarities. For the lucky collector who finds a flawless 1988 Washington quarter, the reward can be astonishing. It is a moment of transformation when an everyday coin reveals itself as a hidden treasure. And for the very best examples, those that shine in perfect mint brilliance and capture the spirit of American coinage, the value has reached the incredible height of $108,000. Top 4. The year 1999 was a turning point in the history of U.S. coinage, as it marked the beginning of one of the most ambitious and beloved coin programs ever introduced, the State Quarters Program. Among these coins, the very first issue, the Delaware 1999 quarter, holds a special place in the hearts of collectors. When the program was announced, it promised to celebrate each of the 50 states with a unique design, bringing artistry and history into the hands of everyday Americans. The first coin in this legendary series was Delaware, making it the trailblazer of an unforgettable journey. The design of the Delaware quarter is both striking and historic. On the reverse, we see Caesar Rodney, the famous patriot, galloping on horseback. His ride was one of courage and determination, and it symbolized the vital role Delaware played in America's founding. On the obverse, George Washington's portrait remains dignified, carrying forward the legacy of the classic quarter design. Together, the two images unite the spirit of leadership and independence, making the Delaware quarter an iconic piece of American history. Being the first state quarter ever issued, the Delaware quarter instantly became popular. People saved them, collected them, and even lined up at banks just to grab the first coins of the new series. It was the spark that set off a nationwide coin collecting craze. But not all Delaware quarters are created equal. Within the massive mintage of 1999, some coins stood out for their rarity, condition, or unusual features. These are the ones that excite collectors and fetch astonishing prices. Errors, in particular, have made the Delaware quarter famous. Misstrikes, double dies, and other minting mistakes have been discovered, transforming what was supposed to be a common coin into a sought-after rarity worth thousands. Beyond errors, the condition of the coin plays an even bigger role. Coins that have remained untouched since 1999, with flawless luster and sharp details, are now among the most desirable modern quarters in the hobby. Grading services carefully examine these coins, and the highest graded examples can shock even experienced collectors with the value they achieve. A Delaware quarter in perfect mint state condition is a gem that many aspire to own. What makes the Delaware 1999 quarter even more fascinating is its historical importance. Being the first in the state quarter series, it carries symbolic weight. Collectors know that firsts are always special, and this coin is no exception. The Caesar Rodney design is also a powerful reminder of the Revolutionary era. His long horseback ride in 1776 was crucial to the signing of the Declaration of Independence. To have this moment immortalized on a coin connects everyday Americans to their nation's roots. Millions of people still remember the excitement of finding their first Delaware quarter in pocket change. For many, it was the start of a lifelong interest in coins and history. That nostalgic connection continues to fuel its popularity. Auction houses have seen Delaware quarters rise to impressive heights when offered in pristine condition. Every new record price adds another layer of mystique to this modern classic. It is remarkable to think that a coin from 1999, one still so familiar, can be worth thousands. But that is the magic of numismatics. When history, condition, and rarity come together, even modern coins can achieve legendary status. The thrill of the hunt keeps collectors searching for the best Delaware quarters. Whether tucked away in old collections, hidden in bank rolls, or found by chance in circulation, the possibility of discovery is part of what makes this coin so exciting. For those who treasure the artistry of coin design, the Delaware quarter does not disappoint. The motion of Caesar Rodney's horse, the strength in his determined ride, and the balance of the design make it one of the most dynamic state quarters ever struck. Over time, the value of the Delaware quarter has continued to rise. As more people learn its story and as high-grade examples become scarcer, demand only increases. The lack of awareness among the general public also makes it a hidden treasure. To most, it's just a quarter, but to collectors, it's a valuable piece of American history. The 1999 Delaware quarter shows us that modern coins can be just as thrilling as older ones. Its role as the first of the 50 States series ensures that it will always be remembered and collected. Collectors know that the very first issue of a series often becomes the most significant, and Delaware holds that honor proudly. It started a program that brought millions of new collectors into the hobby. The State Quarters series is credited with revitalizing coin collecting in America, and Delaware was the coin that set the stage. Its legacy is unmatched among modern U.S. coinage. Every Delaware quarter has a story to tell, whether about its design, its symbolism, or its role in sparking a cultural movement in collecting. That is why it holds such a powerful place in the hearts of enthusiasts. The passion for this coin has only grown over the years. From seasoned collectors to young hobbyists, everyone recognizes the importance of Delaware's quarter. It serves as a reminder that coins are not just currency, they are storytellers, carrying history, heritage, and hidden treasures with them wherever they go. When found in stunning mint state, with flawless shine and unmatched beauty, the Delaware quarter becomes more than just collectible. It becomes a prize worth pursuing at any cost. As years pass, the number of flawless Delaware quarters will only shrink, making the surviving gems even more valuable and cherished. This coin has already proven that it can surprise the world of numismatics, and it continues to hold the potential for even greater discoveries in the future. The Delaware 1999 quarter is not just the beginning of a series, it is the beginning of a new era of collecting, one that reshaped how Americans view their coins. And for the finest known examples, preserved in mint perfection and embodying all the history and artistry of their design, the value has soared to the breathtaking sum of $104,000. Top 5. The year 1999 was unforgettable in American coinage, because it marked the launch of the legendary 50-state quarters program, one of the most popular and ambitious series the U.S. Mint ever produced. Among the first set of coins released that year was the Connecticut quarter, a design that quickly became one of the most admired in the entire program. The Washington quarter had already been in circulation since 1932, featuring George Washington on the obverse. But the state quarters program breathed new life into the familiar design by transforming the reverse side into a tribute to each state's history, culture, and heritage. Connecticut's choice of design was as beautiful as it was symbolic. The reverse of the coin showcases the famed charter oak, a massive tree that became a symbol of American independence and resilience. Its sprawling branches stretch across the design, making it one of the most visually striking quarters in the series. The story behind the charter oak adds depth to the design. According to legend, in 1687, when the British governor tried to seize Connecticut's royal charter, colonists hid it inside the hollow trunk of this great oak tree to protect their rights and freedoms. That act of defiance and cleverness turned the tree into a historic emblem of liberty. By featuring the charter oak on the quarter, Connecticut paid tribute not only to its natural heritage, but also to its spirit of independence and determination. This story makes the 1999 Connecticut quarter one of the most meaningful coins of the program. Millions of these quarters were struck, just like all the other state quarters. But as collectors know, not every coin is equal. Some examples of the Connecticut quarter have become incredibly valuable due to rarity, condition, and striking errors. The sheer detail of the charter oak design also posed challenges for the mint. With its thousands of tiny branches, it required precision, and in some cases, coins showed weak strikes or incomplete details. Finding one with a bold, sharp strike is part of the thrill for collectors. Condition is another factor that sets valuable Connecticut quarters apart. The vast majority were spent in circulation, rattling around in pockets, purses, and cash registers, leaving scratches and marks. Coins that escaped into flawless preservation became rare gems. Grading services evaluate these coins with meticulous care. A Connecticut quarter graded in the highest mint state levels is a true prize, showing off the delicate details of the charter oak with dazzling brilliance. Collectors are especially drawn to the Connecticut quarter because of its role in history. It was part of the very first year of the state quarters program, and first-year issues often carry extra significance. Being one of the launch designs, it holds a special place in every series collection. The artistry of the charter oak design also sets it apart. Many state quarters are remembered fondly, but the Connecticut coin stands out for its intricacy and symbolism. Its reverse is instantly recognizable, and it remains a favorite among collectors and non-collectors alike. Era coins have made the Connecticut quarter even more exciting. Misaligned dies, off-center strikes, and other minting mistakes have turned some pieces into extraordinary rarities worth far more than their face value. For those who collected the state quarters from the very beginning, the Connecticut coin brings back memories of a thrilling time in coin history. Families, children, and seasoned collectors all joined in the fun of finding each new release. Auction records show that exceptional examples of the Connecticut quarter have achieved surprising prices. High-grade coins and rare varieties consistently attract strong bids, showing the strength of demand for this beautiful issue. What's most fascinating is how a coin as common as a quarter, released in the millions, can still become an object of rarity and value. It all depends on the details, condition, strike, and sometimes a little luck. Holding a pristine Connecticut quarter is like holding a piece of history. The design connects us to the colonial struggle for freedom while also celebrating the launch of a modern coinage phenomenon. This blend of old and new is what makes the 1999 Connecticut quarter so special. It bridges America's past with its present, reminding us of the resilience that shaped the nation. Collectors continue to search for the finest Connecticut quarters, knowing that each discovery brings them closer to owning a true treasure. The chase itself is part of the excitement, and the coin's beauty makes it worth the effort. Even today, people still stumble upon Connecticut quarters in circulation, not realizing that some of them could be worth far more than they expect. That element of surprise keeps the hobby alive. The charter oak design also appeals to those who love art and nature. The delicate branches, carefully engraved, create a design that is both powerful and serene. It's a work of miniature art struck into metal. As years pass, the number of flawless Connecticut quarters dwindles. Those that remain in pristine condition gain even more desirability, driving up their value at auctions and among collectors. The importance of the coin's year, 1999, cannot be overstated. Being part of the very first group of state quarters ensures that Connecticut's issue will always carry prestige in numismatic circles. Many collectors today still say that the Connecticut quarter is among their favorites in the entire 50-state program, and it continues to be one of the most iconic designs released. It is also a reminder that the state quarters brought millions of new people into coin collecting, many of whom started with coins like Connecticut and never stopped. That legacy is priceless. The story of the charter oak continues to inspire, and having it immortalized on a quarter ensures that future generations will remember its role in America's fight for liberty. Collectors treasure this coin not only for its monetary value but also for its symbolism, artistry, and place in history. That combination makes it truly unforgettable. As interest in modern coinage grows, the Connecticut quarter remains a standout. Its design, rarity in high grades, and historical significance guarantee its enduring appeal. Every time a pristine example is discovered, it captures the imagination of collectors and adds another chapter to its remarkable story. And for the very finest examples, preserved in perfect brilliance and celebrated as treasures of American coinage, the value has reached an astonishing $103,000. Top 6. In 2015, the United States Mint continued its journey of honoring America's natural beauty through the America the Beautiful Quarters program, and one of the standout designs of that year was the Kisatchie quarter. This coin instantly drew attention with its striking artwork and meaningful tribute. The Kisatchie quarter represents the Kisatchie National Forest in Louisiana, a vast and breathtaking landscape that covers more than 600,000 acres of wilderness. Known for its pine forests, rolling hills, and diverse wildlife, it is one of the most beautiful places preserved by the United States. The reverse of the coin is nothing short of captivating. It shows a wild turkey in flight, wings spread wide, soaring above the forest. The detailed engraving captures both motion and freedom, a perfect symbol of the spirit of Louisiana's wilderness. On the obverse, of course, is the familiar portrait of George Washington, reminding us of the continuity of the quarter's design, while the reverse brings in fresh stories of America's landscapes. What makes the Kisatchie quarter so fascinating is how it connects everyday coinage with the beauty of the natural world. It is not just money, it is art, history, and geography struck into metal. The America the Beautiful program produced millions of coins, yet certain examples of the Kisatchie quarter stand out for their quality, rarity, and sometimes unusual errors. These are the ones that collectors chase relentlessly. Error coins from 2015 Kisatchie issues have included off-center strikes, die clashes, and doubled images, each one transforming an ordinary quarter into a collectible worth far more than face value. Condition is another key factor. While millions circulated through everyday transactions, only a small number survived in pristine, untouched quality. These flawless examples, when graded at the highest levels, can command serious attention from collectors. Grading services look closely at every detail of the design. On the Kisatchie quarter, the sharpness of the turkey's feathers, the clarity of the forest background, and the brilliance of the luster all contribute to its grade and value. Collectors are particularly drawn to the Kisatchie design because of its dynamic imagery. The turkey in flight is a symbol of wild strength, and seeing such detail on a small coin makes it truly stand out among modern issues. The coin also carries special significance for Louisiana, highlighting one of its most cherished natural treasures. For locals, it is a proud reminder of the state's beauty and heritage. Many who first encountered the Kisatchie quarter in pocket change did not realize its potential value. To most, it was just another coin, but to sharp-eyed collectors, it was a work of art with hidden potential. Auction houses have proven this point repeatedly. When rare, high-grade Kisatchie quarters come up for sale, they often achieve results that surprise even seasoned numismatists. The 2015 Kisatchie quarter also represents a growing trend in collecting modern quarters. More people are recognizing that coins from recent years can achieve high values, especially when tied to limited editions, rare varieties, or exceptional condition. It is also important to remember that this coin comes from a celebrated series. The America the Beautiful quarters are known for their creativity, and Kisatchie stands out as one of the most artistic designs of the program. The wild turkey is more than just a design choice. It represents resilience, independence, and the wilderness that shaped America's heritage. That symbolism gives the coin emotional power beyond its monetary worth. Collectors often describe the Kisatchie quarter as one of the most visually appealing issues of 2015. Its design is bold, elegant, and filled with motion, a rarity among coin imagery. As the years pass, fewer of these quarters remain in top-grade condition. Time and circulation wear away at their beauty, making untouched examples all the more rare. The thrill of searching for these coins keeps collectors engaged. Bank rolls, collections, and even pocket change continue to yield surprises for those who know what to look for. Each Kisatchie quarter tells a story, not just of Louisiana's wilderness but also of the artistry and craftsmanship of modern American coinage. That is why it continues to draw admiration and attention. Rare examples add another layer of intrigue. A slight misalignment, doubling, or unusual strike can turn an ordinary Kisatchie quarter into a rarity worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. For collectors who treasure both beauty and value, the Kisatchie quarter delivers on both fronts. It is a stunning design with the potential to be an incredible investment. What makes it truly special is that it bridges the gap between everyday coinage and high-value collectibles. A simple quarter becomes a treasure when preserved in perfect form or struck with unusual characteristics. The legacy of the Kisatchie quarter is still being written. As more collectors focus on America the Beautiful coins, its importance will only grow in the numismatic community. It stands as proof that modern coins are not to be underestimated. Their designs, their stories, and their hidden rarities make them just as exciting as older classics. Collectors who pursue the Kisatchie quarter know that they are chasing more than just money. They are chasing history, art, and the thrill of discovery. And when one of these coins appears in dazzling mint perfection, untouched by time, it becomes a jewel of modern coinage, worthy of admiration and awe. The soaring wild turkey of the Kisatchie quarter reminds us that America's wild spirit is alive. Not just in the forests of Louisiana but in the coins that circulate in our hands. And for the finest examples of this remarkable coin, preserved in flawless brilliance, the value has soared to an incredible $55,000. Top 7. In the world of American coins, few pieces capture the imagination quite like the Lincoln Wheat Penny. Among them, the 1951 issue stands as a fascinating coin that continues to attract collectors with its history, charm, and sometimes staggering value. The Lincoln cent itself has a rich legacy. First introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln, it replaced the Indian head penny and quickly became one of the most beloved coins in American history. By 1951, the Lincoln Wheat Penny had already been circulating for decades, but it remained a strong symbol of the nation's resilience in the post-war years. Each 1-cent coin carried the image of Lincoln on the obverse, designed by Victor David Brenner, a design that continues in modified form to this day. On the reverse of the 1951 penny, you'll find the classic twin wheat stalks framing the words, 1 cent, and United States of America. This simple yet elegant design gave the coin its nickname, the Wheat Penny. While at first glance the 1951 Wheat Penny may seem like an ordinary piece of pocket change, collectors know that appearances can be deceiving. Beneath the copper surface lies a coin that can range from being common to extraordinarily rare, depending on a few key factors. Mint marks play an important role. In 1951, wheat pennies were struck at 3 mints: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, marked with AD, and San Francisco, marked with an S. Each has its own story and level of scarcity. The San Francisco issues are often more appealing to collectors because they had lower mintages than their Philadelphia and Denver counterparts. This makes them a bit harder to find in pristine condition. Condition, of course, is everything in coin collecting. A worn 1951 penny may only be worth face value, but an uncirculated one, shiny, flawless, and untouched by time, can command extraordinary attention. Collectors and grading services evaluate these coins with precision, checking every detail from Lincoln's profile to the sharpness of the wheat stalks. The better the strike, the higher the grade, and the greater the value. Beyond normal issues, there are rare varieties and errors that make the 1951 wheat penny even more exciting. Examples include doubled dies, off-center strikes, and other unusual minting anomalies. These errors transform what was once a simple cent into a collector's prize, with values soaring far beyond what most would expect for a coin made of humble copper. The appeal of the 1951 wheat penny is not only in its rarity, but also in its connection to American history. It was a coin of the post-war boom years, a time when the nation was growing stronger and more prosperous. People who held these pennies in 1951 could not have imagined that some would one day be worth thousands, or even hundreds of thousands, of dollars. For collectors today, finding a 1951 penny in mint state is a true thrill. The luster, the detail, and the beauty of the coin all come together to tell a story that is both historical and artistic. The Lincoln Wheat series as a whole is one of the most collected coin series in the United States. From beginners to advanced numismatists, nearly everyone has handled a wheat penny at some point in their lives. The 1951 issue is a cornerstone of that tradition. It represents not just 1 cent of currency but a piece of a much larger legacy in American coinage. High-grade examples of the 1951 penny, especially those certified by top grading services, have achieved remarkable prices at auction. These are the coins that send waves of excitement through the collecting community. When one comes to market, collectors and investors alike compete fiercely, knowing that such coins are rare treasures unlikely to appear again anytime soon. The simple beauty of the wheat reverse, combined with the enduring strength of Lincoln's profile, makes this coin timeless. It is as attractive today as it was when it first entered circulation. The copper composition of the coin also adds to its charm. Unlike modern pennies, which are mostly zinc, the 1951 wheat penny is a true copper coin, heavier and richer in color. Collectors often speak of the red-brown, and brown designations for these pennies, each describing the color of the copper as it has aged. Brilliant red coins are the most sought after. The rarity of a full red 1951 penny in pristine condition cannot be overstated. These coins almost glow with beauty, and their value reflects that rarity. Some examples are so well preserved that they look as though they were struck yesterday, a testament to the care with which collectors have saved them. The allure of such coins is irresistible. They are living history, small yet powerful symbols of a nation and its people. Even those who are not collectors can appreciate the magic of discovering an old wheat penny and imagining the stories it has lived through. But for those in the numismatic world, the 1951 wheat penny can be much more than a curiosity. It can be a prize, an investment, and a masterpiece rolled into one. The hunt for these coins is part of the joy. Collectors search coin rolls, estate collections, and auctions, always hoping to stumble upon that one incredible find. And every so often, one of these finds turns out to be worth a fortune, shocking both the finder and the coin community at large. The truth is that the 1951 wheat penny, when found in immaculate condition or with unique varieties, is one of the shining stars of American coinage. And for the most exceptional examples of this historic coin, the value has reached an astonishing $445,000. Top 8. The Lincoln Wheat Penny has long been one of the most iconic coins in American history, and the 1955 issue carries with it a special aura of fascination that keeps collectors intrigued. At first glance, the 1955 Wheat Penny may look like many others from the series, but this particular year holds a deeper story that has made it legendary among coin enthusiasts. The obverse, as always, carries the timeless portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner, with his calm yet powerful profile reminding Americans of leadership, strength, and unity. The reverse displays the famous twin wheat stalks curving along the sides of the words, 1 cent, and United States of America, surrounded by the national motto, E pluribus unum. This coin was struck in large numbers, with millions leaving the mints, but hidden among them are special varieties and rare survivors that stand out as some of the most sought-after wheat pennies ever created. The year 1955 is often remembered by collectors because of the famous double-die variety, one of the most dramatic and desirable era coins in United States history. On that famous era, the inscriptions, "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," appear doubled, and the date itself shows a clear duplication. For many, this variety defines the year 1955 in the world of pennies. But even aside from the doubled die, regular 1955 wheat pennies in pristine, uncirculated condition can achieve remarkable values. Their beauty and scarcity in such states elevate them far above ordinary cents. Collectors place great importance on condition. A circulated 1955 penny may only be worth a small premium, but in mint state, with brilliant red luster, it can be a true numismatic treasure. Copper coins naturally change color over time, and that is why those that remain a bright red are so incredibly rare. Most have toned down to brown or red-brown shades. To find a 1955 wheat penny with full blazing red surfaces is like stepping back in time to the moment it was struck, frozen in perfection. The grading scale used by professionals measures every detail of the coin, from Lincoln's cheek to the wheat stalks, and the sharpest examples often reach the highest designations. Auction houses frequently see heated battles over the finest 1955 wheat pennies, as collectors compete for ownership of a piece of history that will never lose its shine. The double-die examples, when they appear in such high grades, are even more exciting, as they combine rarity, history, and visual drama in one package. For many coin collectors, owning a 1955 double-die penny is considered a crowning achievement, a sign of having reached a high point in numismatic collecting. But the standard mint issues also hold great value when preserved. The artistry of Brenner's design, the glow of copper, and the historic year all combine to give them a special place in collections. The year 1955 marked a period of post-war confidence in America. Pennies from that time circulated in the hands of families, workers, and children who could never imagine their future importance. These coins have witnessed decades of history, yet some remain untouched, stored away in rolls or collections, waiting for discovery by today's collectors. Finding one of these gems is a thrill beyond words, and many collectors recount the excitement of stumbling upon a rare 1955 penny in surprising places. The fame of this year has spread beyond coin circles. Even non-collectors have heard stories about the 1955 double-die penny and its incredible value. This broad awareness has only fueled demand, as more people seek to own a piece of numismatic history that carries both fame and fortune. The Lincoln Wheat Penny series itself is deeply beloved. From its beginning in 1909 to its conclusion in 1958, it produced countless stories, but few years are as memorable as 1955. The design of Lincoln has endured, but the wheat reverse has long been replaced. That makes these coins a nostalgic reminder of an era now gone. Collectors treasure this nostalgia, knowing that each coin is not just money but a preserved piece of America's artistic and cultural heritage. The appeal of the 1955 penny lies in its blend of beauty, rarity, and history, making it one of the most exciting pieces in the Wheat Penny series. When such a coin appears on the market in flawless condition, with dazzling luster and sharp details, it can set record-breaking prices. These coins, small in size but great in story, embody the thrill of collecting, the search, the discovery, and the awe of holding something so rare. The 1955 Lincoln Wheat Penny is more than a cent. It is an icon of American coinage, a dream find for collectors, and a legacy that will never fade. And for the finest examples of this historic coin, preserved in absolute perfection, the value has reached an astonishing $425,000. Top 9. The Lincoln Wheat Penny has a long tradition in American coinage, and the 1956 issue is one of those coins that still fascinates collectors even decades after it first entered circulation. This coin was part of the final years of the Wheat Penny design, which would eventually be replaced in 1959 with the Lincoln Memorial Reverse. That alone gives it a special place in history. The obverse of the 1956 penny shows the enduring portrait of Abraham Lincoln, first introduced in 1909 by Victor David Brenner. His profile continues to embody the values of leadership, freedom, and strength. The reverse holds the classic wheat stalk design, one on each side framing the words 1 cent and United States of America. Simple, elegant, and instantly recognizable to anyone who has ever collected coins. Millions of these pennies were produced, but the beauty of numismatics lies in the fact that rarity is not always about mintage, it is about condition, errors, and survival rates. The Philadelphia Mint produced a huge quantity of these coins without a mint mark, while the Denver Mint struck the 1950 60 pennies in even greater numbers. Yet very few have survived in flawless, untouched condition. Collectors know that a common coin can transform into a treasure when it appears in pristine quality with full red luster and perfect details. The 1956 wheat penny is no exception. Copper is a metal that reacts with the environment. Over time, most coins darken or tone, changing from bright red to red-brown or even full brown. That makes blazing red examples extremely rare and highly sought after. For the 1956 penny, those rare survivors with sharp strikes and untouched brilliance have been graded at the highest levels, and these are the coins that fetch astonishing values. The grading process is meticulous, with experts examining every line of Lincoln's portrait, the sharpness of the wheat stalks, and the overall luster of the coin. Only the finest examples, with no distractions, scratches, or blemishes, make it to the top of the grading scale. And those are the ones collectors fight for in auctions. The year 1956 also produced a number of interesting error coins. Off-center strikes, doubled dies, and repunched mint marks are among the varieties that elevate this coin's value. Error coins tell the story of the minting process itself, showing how small variations during striking can result in dramatic and collectible outcomes. A simple 1-cent coin that left the mint with a minor mistake could later sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars if discovered by an observant collector. The 1956 penny is especially popular among wheat cent collectors because it is part of the last few years of the series, making it both nostalgic and historic. For those who grew up in the 1950s, finding a shiny new penny was a small joy of everyday life. Today, those same coins spark joy again, this time as prized collectibles. Auction houses have seen incredible results with high-grade 1956 wheat pennies. When one in flawless condition appears, bidders eagerly compete, pushing prices higher and higher. The excitement of these auctions reflects not only the beauty of the coin but also the strong demand among collectors to own the very best examples available. Every 1956 penny tells a story. Some circulated through countless hands, buying candy, newspapers, or gum in small-town America. Others were saved, tucked away in rolls or jars, waiting to be rediscovered decades later. The rediscovery of these coins is often thrilling. To open an old roll and find a dazzling red 1956 penny untouched by time is like traveling back in history. It is that sense of history that keeps collectors searching, knowing that treasures still exist in unexpected places. The Lincoln Wheat Penny series remains one of the most popular in the world of numismatics. Nearly every collector, beginner or advanced, has a connection to these coins. The 1956 issue plays an important role in that legacy, representing the final chapter before the design shifted to the Lincoln Memorial reverse. Collectors love the simplicity of the wheat design, and many consider it to be among the most elegant coin reverses ever struck in the United States. That timeless design, combined with the enduring portrait of Lincoln, ensures that the 1956 penny will never lose its charm. Even non-collectors feel the magic when they stumble across an old wheat penny in change or in a family collection. It is more than money, it is a piece of history. For serious collectors, however, the 1956 penny can be much more than a curiosity. In the right condition, it becomes a star of the collection and a valuable investment. Its copper brilliance, its historical context, and its rarity at the highest grades all come together to make it one of the most impressive coins of the wheat cent series. And for those rare, flawless examples of the 1956 Lincoln Wheat Penny, preserved with unmatched beauty and perfection, the value has reached an extraordinary $420,000. The Lincoln Wheat Penny has a long tradition in American coinage, and the 1956 issue is one of those coins that still fascinates collectors even decades after it first entered circulation. This coin was part of the final years of the wheat penny design, which would eventually be replaced in 1959 with the Lincoln Memorial reverse. That alone gives it a special place in history. The obverse of the 1956 penny shows the enduring portrait of Abraham Lincoln, first introduced in 1909 by Victor David Brenner. His profile continues to embody the values of leadership, freedom, and strength. The reverse holds the classic wheat stalk design, one on each side framing the words 1 cent and United States of America. Simple, elegant, and instantly recognizable to anyone who has ever collected coins. Millions of these pennies were produced, but the beauty of numismatics lies in the fact that rarity is not always about mintage, it is about condition, errors, and survival rates. The Philadelphia Mint produced a huge quantity of these coins without a mint mark, while the Denver Mint struck the 1950-60 pennies in even greater numbers. Yet very few have survived in flawless, untouched condition. Collectors know that a common coin can transform into a treasure when it appears in pristine quality with full red luster and perfect details. The 1956 wheat penny is no exception. Copper is a metal that reacts with the environment. Over time, most coins darken or tone, changing from bright red to red-brown or even full brown. That makes blazing red examples extremely rare and highly sought after. For the 1956 penny, those rare survivors with sharp strikes and untouched brilliance have been graded at the highest levels, and these are the coins that fetch astonishing values. The grading process is meticulous, with experts examining every line of Lincoln's portrait, the sharpness of the wheat stalks, and the overall luster of the coin. Only the finest examples, with no distractions, scratches, or blemishes, make it to the top of the grading scale. And those are the ones collectors fight for in auctions. The year 1956 also produced a number of interesting era coins. Off-center